She's the type that can materialize things, I guess. Is she going to wear it and transform or something? Wait, so she's like a summoner? She can like summon minions? For some reason I thought this was Lisa speaking. The madman is still here. He was a member before he died. Then he died and his body been preserved. He must have like his own consciousness. Oh my, really? Really? Okay, I love Ellie. Kane is like her like lost love or something? What the Hello and welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for another episode of Yes Irae. So yeah, let's just go to the episode. Last episode was pretty interesting. We got to learn a bit more about past of Wilhelm, and everyone has some twisted past apparently. And Wilhelm is pretty fucked up, but apparently not the most. So I wonder who is. I cannot wait to see. Also, apparently the scene that was cut with Lisa is actually 18+, so that was like in the original version of the game. And if I remember correctly from this like members that are like on the in the city that we see after each chapter, I remember there's Kane and there's his face or like Joe, and he's not looking particularly as the best partner to be with. So I assume that scene is kinda messed up. I don't know, I didn't see this yet, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's just go to the episode. So leave up a like if you like the episode, the second, subscribe if you are not subscribed, check my Discord, and you can also become a member if you want to support me that way. Thank you, and let's go. And apparently this is not the backstory, actually. If I remember correctly from the comments. The bottomless pit is the name of this club that they are in. Yeah, now I remember. This is because I said last time it's like backstory for what happened with Lisa back there with Kane, but apparently not. It's actually the name of the club. I just like forgot the name of this club apparently. The bottomless pit's hall was already filled with a great variety of spectators, from somewhat elderly men to girls who still had traces of innocence left in them. They all looked up at the stage in the beat of days. Standing there was a lone woman I knew. She wasn't wearing her trademark glasses, but I had no doubt in my mind that's her. Sister Lisa Brenner.
面白いな。まるでお通夜じゃねえかよ。
美人の凄みってやつかね。
Okay. None of the 100+ spectators dared to say a word. An abnormal silence raged along with the loud club music. Shiro, Honjo, and I stared blankly as the other guys got in our way, preventing us from reaching the stage. Mari had returned to my body in preparation for battle, but I hadn't seen this coming. Since I couldn't predict what was the come next, I didn't know what to do. I wonder, like, about Mari entering like his body and stuff. I wonder what's the proximity of this. Like, does she need to be like next to him, need to touch him, or maybe she can just like instantly teleport to him? Like, she's like with Shiro in one room, he's like in totally different place. Or like neighborhood or something. Can she just like disappear from Shiro like room or something and just like appear next to Dren? I wonder. Maybe you have answers, or maybe answers will be provided later, but you can answer this if like this is not a spoiler or something, I guess. That's like, it's kind of interesting. Like how careless you can be with this, with her. Perhaps she had been waiting for us. If so, did that mean a fight would break out soon as we arrived? I hadn't gone off to the deep end enough to suddenly start a battle to death with someone I knew, but in that case, how was I put to an end to this situation? Yeah. At that moment of anguish, she looked right at me with piercing eyes and with locked gazes. She spoke in the same mild tone she did last time we met. Nuzea came over me as the realization that this was not a dream finally began to sink in. She was the same Lisa Brenner I knew before all of this madness began. We were separated by a roughly 20-meter long distance, and she spoke calmly across the sea of petrified spectators.
悪いことは言わないから、すぐにこの場を離れなさいね。正直私はあなたと争いたくないの。
Okay, that's kinda weird, to be honest, because it seems like all of you like LDO members, right? This LDO, I think. Members wants basically fight with Ren. That's what that's what I get like from like previous like episodes and stuff. Like he's like the target of everyone pretty much, right? I guess that she's just so devoted to the case that she don't care about Ren and just want to open up the swastika. I instinctively started shouting.
あんたがここから去ってくれ。俺だってあんたと戦いたくなんかない。きっと氷室先輩だって。
Yeah, about Himuro, let's see.
あの子はそうでしょうね。
Okay. So maybe she's actually not with them. They just assume that. I mean, calculations works if like she's with them, so that's what they go with the hacking stuff. Her words carried a hint of self-deprecation. Though her eyes were filled with sorrow, she followed up with some rather callous words.
でも私がここから引いてしまえば、代わりにベイかマレウスがやってくるだけ。
Okay.
事態は何も変わらない。
シスター、俺は
I don't want to hear those bastards' names from her mouth.
どうして。俺にはあんたや先輩があの気が狂った連中と同じようには思えない。どうしてあいつらと行動を共にする。
If you think about this, we know the abilities at least of Bay, so we would have like easier time dealing with him than her because we don't know what her abilities are. She's like total enigma right now.
あなたと知り合うずっと前から、私は彼らの仲間だからよ。私とあなたが出会っていても出会わなくても、今日という日は起きていた。何かが変わったわけじゃない。だからね、これが最後の忠告。
Yeah, this is just like close up. Sister Lisa eyes narrowed. She stared at me with arrogance and haughtiness. Her gaze replayed with the pressure of the empress, of an empress.
去りなさい、藤井君。あなたが死んだら、レアが悲しむ。
Yeah, probably. Flashes of the day flew by the moment. Memories of irrepressible shudder day by day life. Also, why your CG is like so weird? I just realized, like, look at that. Like, she's like on the right side. Like, normally CG should like if you look at the background, there should be like something on the background or like character should be in the middle. And this is just like having like right side of the background and like there's like nothing here, just some smoke. Like, why would you draw like this? Flashes of the day flew by the moment. Memories of that irreparably shattered day-to-day life. She understood nothing.
けるなよ。
She couldn't tell that the mere act hearing something like that from her lips would make him sadder, even than the issue of my life or death. We could argue over stupid shit like dying, killing, fighting or whatnot, but it wouldn't get us anywhere. I decided to stop thinking.
シスター、ここから消えるのはあんただよ。口で言っても通じないなら力ずくで叩き出してやる。
Makes sense.
そう。じゃあ私も。
Okay. Mr. Lisa nodded at me, conspicuously avoiding my gaze. Okay, what's your weapon?
こちらも同じ。私にも理
You
由
also have a sword.
叶えなければならない願いがある。その邪魔をするなら
You have scythe.
清掃13騎士団黒煙卓第11位バビロン・マグダレナ・リザ・ブレンナ。今の私たちが有する最高戦力と戦って勝てると思わない方がいい。
Apparently these numbers have some meaning that will be discovered later. Maybe, and apparently I may realize what's happening with numbers in this episode, apparently. But I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I don't. At that moment, a hole opened directly above Sister Lisa. No, that wasn't quite right. Okay. It was a mask, or something like that. A jet black object that didn't give off even the smallest ember of light. It was floating in the air. Okay, that's something. She materialized that, right? That thing. So she's the type that can materialize things, I guess. So she's like K, right? Like she creates an object. That's the same type of power, right? It sends shivers down my spine.
こりゃちょっと
Shiro and Honjo, who had been quietly watching my conversation with Sister Lisa up to this point, broke out into uncharacteristically stiff smiles. They probably felt it too. The aberrant, wicked intentions oozing from off the deep within that hellish black mask. Is she going to wear it and transform or something? Okay, let's go with the formation. That was her Achnerberry. Mask of Pale Death. Okay, that's ominous. A second later, the darkness exploded. Okay. A human figure grew out of the mask. Wait, what? Admittedly, an odd expression, but that was the only way I could describe the phenomenon unfolding before my eyes. Arms, legs, waist, and torso materialized in but a few seconds, like they protruded out of the mask. Sister Lisa was no longer alone. Oh, that's why we have this CG like that weirdly, like Lisa on the right side. Oh, okay. Wait, so she's like a summoner? She can like summon minions? Wait, what the fuck? Also, this blade, look at that fucking thing. Like, this looks like something that Berserker from Fate would like wear. Okay, her minion have some kind of like symbols here. Okay. Well, looks strong. So I guess she's like vulnerable in like close encounters. So technically, Ren should be an advantage if he get close, right? We need just to get past this guy. And that won't be easy because he's like literally her weapon. Huh. Okay. That's the first time we see Summoner in this. Standing next to her was a peculiar giant, easily over 2 meters tall, its body covered in bundles of thick muscles, like the statue of the fierce god. The tattoo with a complex design was curved into the left side of its body, serving only to accentuate its bizarre appearance even further. What the hell was that? What the hell? Was that thing human? It didn't look that way at all. Did I check the whole picture like that? I didn't. Okay, now we have the full CG. Okay. What the hell? Was that thing a human? It didn't look that way at all. It's not. Despite its huge frame, the giant didn't feel real in the slightest. It stood right before me, but its whole appearance seems so unrealistic, it rather felt like a bad joke. Nevertheless, the bloodlust it emanated was so fierce it hit me like a ton of bricks, sending an ominous negative wave across the hall. The spectators, whose time had stopped, the appearance of the Sister Lisa, woke up all at once. They all looked at the monster, with eyes of the dread. The fear amplified, spread, saturated and stayed welling up within them. Those driven by fear tried to get out of the right way, clogging up the narrow exit. Some of them violently pushed others out of the way, desperate to save themselves first. Makes sense. So then,
うるせえぞてめえら
yeah. Shiro, the leader, just like, yeah, shut up. It's just like, you know, we can't escape. Shiro fired a gun at the ceiling and let out the angry roar, exceeding all other sounds. That was enough to quell the hundreds of panicking spectators in silence. That wasn't all. They stopped running, parted to the side, and opened the path to the stage.
よーし分かってんじゃねえかそれでいいんだよ
Wow. Wow, like, this is just like his announcement. Yeah, I would deal with this. Holy shit. They trust him so much. I don't know if I would do that. God damn. Paying no heed to my dumbfoundment at this Moises' equid feats, Shiro calmly looked down the hallway. Hanjo trailed behind him, wearing the casual expression of someone taking an everyday stroll down the street. They are freaking insane. Like, Shiro and Ellie? God damn it.
大したものね、ユサシロウ君。
Mr. Lisa voice carried a hint of admiration.
私たちの時代に生まれていたら、あなたは英雄になれたかもしれ
In
ない。
our time, huh? So, like, 60, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, something like that, when you get these powers.
じゃああんたはさしずめマッドサイエンティストだったってところかな。
Hanjo listlessly snickered while gesturing to the mysterious giant, but yet to budge even an inch.
家業からわかるんだよ私には。マッコウ臭いっていうか、ホルマリン臭いっていうか。とにかく随分と破壊だよね、シスターも。
Oh, wait a second. Wait, what the fuck? Oh no. Wait. Okay, I'm sorry. For some reason I thought this was Lisa speaking. Never mind. Just forget.
なんつ
I will just drink my coffee.
バカバクせ
そうだね。刺繍プンプンだよ、そのでかいの。ビクター・フランケンシュタイン博士。あれって英国文学のはずだけど、いいわけ？
German knockoff, nice. Teresa laughed at Honjo's comment. She wasn't denying it. She didn't say anything, almost like she was admitting to her comment was the truth.
じゃああいつは
The hugest guy is a corpse. Is that why it didn't feel real despite being so huge? True, the force that Buster was giving felt rather twisted. Not the force of something living, but rather that of the large machine, like the oppression of the approaching tank. If you think about this, like, this mask is called, like, something death. I don't remember. Like, peculiar death? Something? So, my assumption is that Herr Agnerbere is like this mask and this sword, like, it's like a set. Maybe? And this mask can summon like corpses of like dead like people, so she can like choose basically a person who's going to wield the sword. So she can like look into the history and just like summon, let's say, the greatest martial art in like, I don't know, past 10 years or something. You know what I mean? Like she can like choose basically who going to fight for her. I think that's how this mask works, because this corpse appeared from this mask. And this was the first materialized. That's my theory about this. A heartless, lifeless machine of slaughter. Never mind! This is Kane! What the fuck? Wait, so this is the guy she had like sex in like 18 plus version, because 18 plus version is obviously not safe for work. Wait, what? How does that work? But her Agnerbere is this mask. So they... And his weapon is this. This is his Agnerbere. So we have like... Wait, what? Okay, what kind of power does she have then? Wait, what? She summoned another person? Wait, what? Okay.
おっしゃる通りよお嬢さん。彼は死体、生きていない。こうなったものを私が使う。最初からそういう配役。
But you woke him up. Wait, what? So maybe she killed him? She woke him up and killed him in that room that she was supposed to like wake him up? After the scene? And then she summoned him as a corpse? Is that it? Or he's like literally a living corpse and is just like contracted with her and she can like summon him at will? Or something. This is weird.
まずはお見事。その統率力と洞察力。彼を前にして正気でいられる度胸も含めて希望だけど
Sister Lisa, I snarled again. She wasn't looking at me nor at Shiro and Hanjo. My heart leapt as I felt a certain kind of unease and frightfulness explode within me. This is bad, very bad. Perhaps she's...
指揮官としては最悪よ。今夜の私の目的はここのスワスチカを開くこと。
They'll basically murder a lot of people, right?
暇はないの。判断ミスね、二人とも。それだけ統制が取れるなら、あの時逃がすべきだった。ねえ、カイン。
Okay. Okay, this looks amazing. God damn it, like shading and lightning in like these CGs in this game is so freaking amazing. I would say that art itself is not like the best part of the CGs for this artist. I think the best part of this artist is the play with light and shadow. Like light and shadow play in like this CGs is so freaking amazing and gives such a good like the vibes on like everything else. This is just amazing. The twinkle of flash. I'm not saying like he had bad art, okay? I'm just saying like the main focus is like light and shadow. That's what makes this like insanely amazing. Twinkle of flash. The bruised lamp of the iron wielded by the giant is referred to as a cane. Rumbled with a sinister echo. It was probably his Agnerbere. It let out an electrifying roar. Okay, so he's like electric power. So wait, so she have like the mask that someone dead. He's dead and he have Agnerbere. What kind of fucking chain reaction is that? Sister Lisa was up on the stage, waving her hands and giving orders like a conductor. A musical suite of agonizing screams began with her command. The giant was the musician, and people were his instruments. It was an orchestra of carnage.
Christian.
Okay. A flash of purple lightning surged in the hall with a thunderous roar. My eyes were blinded by the splitting lightning, and my eardrums burst the roars in the airtight space. I tried to dash forward in the whited out silence, but I was blown away by the shockwave. Oh! Oh, it's not him. Okay, it's someone else. Blood and chunks of meat spattered me a second after. I crashed into the wall. The bodies of the whole hapless club attendants were torn apart and split into pieces by the lightning. The stench of literally boiling blood and burnt dry flesh filled my nostrils. I could tell, even without my sight and hearing, that all hell just turned into the mountain of corpses in an instant. It took the monster to unleash that single attack. Well, they were just normal humans, so yeah. Yeah, good point. Like, what happened to Shiro and Ellie? They're normal people too. Say something if you're alive, you dumb bus. You couldn't die that easy, right? I gritted my teeth and slapped my knees. My legs were completely numb. I must have been hit by the lightning as well. I had to stand and fight, damn it. I was the only one here able to take that monster. I could tell by blood. I could tell blood was pouring out of all the cavities on my face as the result of shock I had received, but I put that out of mind. I knew this disaster was undoubtedly brought about my own naivety. Sister Lisa, so you really are the same as those bastards who kill without fear or hesitation? Yeah, pretty much. Just deal with this. Every single one of them is like that, probably. Just assume they are, all of them.
だったら
Then I want to fight her. Nor did I want her to die. I didn't want her to kill anyone either. That's not how it works, Ren. At least I could do for having failed to accomplish any of that was getting rid of that undead freak as soon as possible. I remember what Spinner said. Those bastards' goal was to cause massacres at 8 points around the city, to create 8 battlefields. Then fighting here would be playing right into their plans. However, as long as those guys were sticking to those places, I couldn't lure them anywhere else. And most importantly, if I let that monster get out of this place in one piece, it would only increase the innocent casualties later. So, what I had to do now was take out Kane right away. Nothing else. Okay, Shiro is alive. That sounded kind of like a gunshot. I hear Ingratunut right around the time when I stood up. I could hear a gunfire. Okay. The madman is still here. Shiro and Honjo were shred. Okay. Shoulder. And more sensible than me. So they must have gotten into a safe zone quickly enough. Just as though filled me with relief, my vision returned. Okay, so Ellie is alive as well. Nice.
さあ行くぞ
Okay, Kane. Your face is so cute. You are so pretty. Mwah. Tubal Kane turned back to me. Either he noticed my stare, or Sister Lisa seized him on me. His stare was more like that of the power shovel than humans. Also, now I think when you think about this, like case of Kane, it kinda reminds me of. I don't. Oh my god, I don't remember now how you call this. It's starting with H. You know, there's like. It's like magic / like shaman thing, like with corpses, like it's like talismans. I forgot like how we call these. You can remind me in comments, but yeah, I forgot how you call this like exactly. Like you have like these like talismans that are like on the face of the corpse, and you control the corpse like wheel with this. So you like revive the corpse, put the talisman on it, and you can like, you know, basically control it. So without it you cannot control it. So maybe like Kane is controlled right now, and without this mask he's like basically have like his corpse, but he have like free will, something like that, you know. I forgot how we call this, but you know what I mean. Like this is like quite like fairly often used in general, like anime, manga, novels, probably. Seriously, was I the only one person left in there? Sane person. The corpse was rotting, as corpses normally did. His existence was the horrible perversion of nature. I could barely even look straight at him. Do we really have the 18+ scene with him? Really? It's really the case? Or was he alive? I took a step forward with Kane, so as his cue to leap off the stage. His body was so massive, each step was accompanied by the tremor in the earth. His powers undoubtedly extraordinary, yet this place itself didn't allow for any strategies involving quick movement and surprise attacks. Though that last attack wiped out about half of them, there were still people clamoring in the hall. I would have to take that thing head on if I were to ensure their safe escape. So, come on, Mari. Let's do it together. Let's beat that monster back into the grave it crawled out of it. Out of. Let's do it! There we have the CG of Lisa, okay. Like the proper CG actually now. That's a nice leg. Blood and pieces of flesh shot off with the roar of the first attack. Lisa Brenner closed her eyes and perceived just how many lives had been lost. 78 died instantly, 51 were fatally wounded. In other words, 190 to 129 souls were raped by the Spire attack. Was it there? No, that still wasn't enough. The souls gathered at bottomless pit were surprisingly fine quality. They weren't spiritually tempered, they had merely lived dirty lives. They were outlaws who took refuge here from the police, their parents, teachers, or a mafia in order to live. Realizing they couldn't live on the surface, those brave fugitives has decided to discard their true selves, like so many others has done, and instead sought a place where they belonged, a place where they would find kindred spirits. In a way, the difference between them and cowards was paper thin, but very few were capable of even that nowadays. When you consider them as Shiro, Yusa, and Eri Honjo lapdogs, perhaps they had a little self-will, but even then, they still had a value when seen as the parts of the whole. At the very least, they undoubtedly had a better understanding of life and death than those who lazily shuffled through their everyday lives. Yeah, probably if you live in the underground like this, then yeah, you see values differently. So while it normally took about 500 lives to open Swastika, it would only take 200 to 300 of the lives here to open this one. Okay, so around 500 is to open one. Okay. That's just like hard number that we just got. So school... Does school really have 500 people? Really? I mean, school should be like under Battlefield, right? So it should like 500... I guess it's possible, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, okay, it's a big school. It probably have like over 500 people in there. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Indeed, another thing or two from Kane, and the one job would be done for the time being. Oh, hi. So you are here as well. Yeah, you are supposed to not kill anyone. I remember. It's like her to do. Lisa's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of her comrade, who had walked up next to her at some point during this all this. You can see that she's like not for the fight. Lisa's wearing her like SS uniform, and she's like in just casual clothes.
まるで爆撃。私が知る限り、一撃でここまでできる者は他にいない。黒煙卓の現有戦力中、最強はやはり彼か。
Current armory. Huh. So Kane is not the master. He's literally a weapon. Huh. Okay. But he appears on the round table members. So he was a member before he died. Then he died and his body been preserved. So he technically is a living corpse that is technically still a member, but he's also controlled as the weapon. That's why he appears on the chart with other members. Okay, I can deal with this, I think. Kay looked unimpressively at the giant next to her. He spoke softly, with a somewhat too perfect impudence. You did?
これは本当に。
ええ、彼よ。
Lisa answered curtly, her forehead moist from intense concentration.
あなたも知っているように、トバルカインは代替わりする。彼は3代目だから、こうなった時、 初代と2代目の肉体と融合したのよ。つまり意味軸もさっき髪の短いお嬢さんが言っていた通りね。
Okay, so Kane is fusion type? Inherited the role. He fused with the first and second generations. Short-haired lady pointed out a while back. Who do you mean, Lisa? What short-haired lady? I don't know any of them. Well, I know Kasumi. Kasumi's short-haired, and Rhea is short-haired. Okay, so he's a fusion type and he fuses with like his predecessors? Is that what you did like back in the room when you were like supposed to wake him up? Are you going to like give birth to like 4th generation and the baby will like fuse with the 3rd generation? Is that a thing? That kind of messed up. Did I just created something cursed or is that the thing? What the fuck?
フランケンシュタインの怪物か。死体をつなぎ合わせた体。道理で代を重ねるごとに巨大になる。
Also, if he's her weapon, if she's been using him for a while, maybe she's using him for a while, who knows? But probably did, because she's like have this mask that could create corpses and stuff. So does it mean that like Canes are like your kids basically? Or something? Okay, I'm just like creating like totally like cursed image of like Lisa and Kane and like what the fuck. Okay, I should like stop talking. This is cursed. Maybe I'm right though. Who knows?
しかし、それだけに少々下せない。あなたは先ほどクレッシェンドと命令したが、私なら初撃でフォルテッシモというところだ。最大効率で戦果を上げるとは。
Okay.
すなわちそういうことだと思うのですね。
Lisa replied with a tired, very real smile as to imply the question of why she held back. Okay, so this is like very tiring for her. So it like need a lot of like power in order to control him.
言ったでしょ。私は11年
Oh.
使っていない。つまりこの彼を操るのは初めてなのよ。まだ手探りの状態なのに初撃で全力なんて。
So he can break out of the control. So that's right. So this mask works as the talismans on the face of like dead that you can control them. That's so it is actually this thing. Okay.
だからいわば短期運転ね。正直それでもかなりきついの。実は
日頃鍛えていないからそうなるのです。が
Kay shook her head at the absurdity of it all, but continued in a serious tone.
どうやら付き合って正解だったようですね。以前藤井君にした例え話。あなたは武器が強力でも使い手が脆弱だという。
Yeah, that's what I thought.
護衛がいなければ戦えない。
Like I said, she's probably vulnerable. She's fragile as the individual. Like she have like powerful weapon as fuck, but she's like basically a summoner and she have like no defenses of her own. And also now we know that it takes like a lot of her power. I would call it mana. Let's just call it mana. Why not? It takes like a lot of her mana to control this guy, and she's like tired and stuff. Maybe stamina. Yeah, that's why maybe call it stamina actually.
そう。じゃあしっかり守って。それから彼は
生きていますよ。そしておそらく戦う気かと。
Yeah. Also, that means we are going to see again the flaming sword of Kay. Holy shit! Kay was staring at Ren Fuji, who had since gotten to his feet and was glaring right at them.
バカね。今のうちに逃げればいいのに。
Well, that's not going to happen.
彼がそういう男じゃないことは、私よりあなたの方がよく知っていることでしょう。
ええ。 そうね。
Tubal Kane turned to Ren in sync with Lisa. No expression could be read off the death mask adoring him. It spoke everything as his function as the soulless machine.
まだスワス地下は開いていない。あなたが仕事をこなそうとするのなら、彼は全力で止めようとするでしょう。もはやどうあがいても戦うしかないですね。心が痛みますか、シスター。
まったく。
Oh. This produced a bitter smile.
私が嫌いなのはわかるけど、意地悪なのもほどほどにね。でないとあなた、可愛い。
別に問題ないです。
Kay replied to that candid advice with a steely voice.
私をこんな女にしたのはあなたたちなのだから。
Ha! Okay, so basically Lisa is the one who recruited Kay, I guess. Interesting. Or gave her a weapon? And then there were two who were watching the pair conversation with a disinterestful foolhardiness.
ダメだ。耳がバカになってる。これしばらく使えそうにねえけど、お前は？
Okay.
私も正直だいぶダメ。あんたの声があさっての方から。
Well, you are still alive. That's like amazing feat actually in this situation. It was sheer luck that spread them from the previous attack. Though they promptly taken evasive actions, humans didn't possess the reaction speed to avoid getting struck by lightning to begin with. Unlike Ren, it wouldn't have been odd if they have died there and there. Pretty much, yeah.
命中率が悪いのか、それともおめこぼししてもらったのか。何にせよ全力で舐められてんな。
Okay.
指揮官としては最悪とかね。まあ否定はしないけど、あんた最初からそんな柄じゃないのにね。
What did it mean to open the swastika? What had to be done? What happened? And what was the result? Should probably stop his comrades from running away in order to figure that out. At least that's what Ellie believed.
あんたのその全開で人でなしなとこ。ぶっちゃけナチといい勝負。
Okay.
ごめんなよ。照れるだろ。
Wow.
まあそれはいいけど、耳がバカになってもやれることはあるわけでね。
From this distance, they wouldn't have been able to hear what their opponents were talking about with the proper hearing. As such, the temporary defenses didn't mean all that much. Ellie ignored Shiro at that point and stared intently at the two on the stage.
うっさい。少し黙ってな。
Okay. Ellie admonished her companion and started moving her lips. After a while, she looked at Shiro. Okay, what? Oh, she's like lip reading, probably. Okay. Holy shit, you can do that?
あいつらが何喋ってんの。
Wow.
分かったよ。
Ellie, you are gaining points really fast. Like, your skill set is freaking amazing. Ellie could read lips. She had received no training in it. It was mostly a self-taught skill she had. Wow, okay. That's hard as hell. As for the parts she couldn't pick up, she filled in blanks through observation, concentration, and thought. She told Shiro that the enemies had been talking about...
だと思う。
I think, yeah.
頼りねえな。
信じないならご勝手に。
Ellie's making Kasumi faces. I love it. I love the faces they make. It's so good.
シスターを倒せば、あのカインとかいう化け物も倒せるって。
Pretty much. Yeah, it seems like it. Unless he will just go into Berserk mode, but... Actually, if you think about this, killing Lisa probably would destroy the mask only. So you still need to deal with Kane. I think, because it seems like Akner Bere of Lisa is that mask.
そういうことだね。
She can like manipulate stuff.
そのためにはまずシスターを守ってるあのお嬢ちゃんが邪魔なんだけど。
So which... I forgot like exactly what kind of like types of powers do we have in DS era. I'm sorry, I know it's been a while when I checked the power system. We have like the version that K is, which is like a meter, I believe. We have fusion types. That's Ren. Is she the emitter just like Kay because she summoned that mask? She's probably something else, right? Maybe she's like some special case? Because it's like some kind of like specialist or something as well, right? That's like different. Maybe she's that because she basically summoned the mask that summoned something else. Summon within summon. So it's not just simple like materialization.
そうだね。こんなのはどうだ?
Shiro explained the plan he had concocted. Ellie nodded, ducked, and moved away from Shiro as quietly as possible. Okay, I mean, if you just shoot her, then yeah, that would be over. Like, I guess no, wait. She's just like everyone else. She's like bulletproof basically. Yeah, okay, that's going to work. I think about shooting because that's all they do. They always just shoot with guns. Like Shiro is like just gun away. Like he was just like shooting to Bay and it did nothing. Well, but he's like creative one. So maybe he can like give some advantage to this who's like fighting like in lethal force. The rabble trying to escape proved to be a good smokescreen. The pair had known about them for about 2 months, but they never accounted for much to Shiro on personal level.
もうちょっと使える奴らだと思ったんだが、ま、普通ってのはこんなもんか。
Shiro shook his head with a laugh, then proceeded to forget about them altogether. It was his creed to actively participate in battles and get as much fun out of them as possible. He had no interest in those who couldn't keep up. Okay. And he always shoot with the gun. I guess if you think about this, now I thought about this, the guns actually might be good. Because Lisa said that even talking is a strain for her. So if someone's shooting at you, then that would like be pretty good distraction. Even though you are bulletproof, you will still have like a feel of shock of being hit. So yeah, that's pretty good distraction, I would say. Once he predicted Eri was out of sight, Shiro fired the Desert Eagle in his hand. It should have been a surprise attack, however. Hell yeah! The bullets were deflected by the red sword that had suddenly appeared in Kay's sight out of the thin air, much like the gothic giant head. Yep, pretty much.
あの姉ちゃんも化け物かよ。
Shiro clicked his tongue and fired 2 more shots without missing a beat. Kay is so good. Kay swiftly grabbed the sword and swung it with the ease of the lifting a twig. With a mere flip of the wrist, she had repelled all the bullets with the blade of a sword.
おいおい、50口径だぜ。
Yeah, pretty much.
50口径125ミリ滑空砲を持ってきたのなら、両手を使ってあげるわ。
I would have used 2 hands, okay. Wow.
戦車持ってこいってか?
Yeah, pretty much. Shiro didn't take Kay words as a joke. She peeled the bullets. To do that, you would need extraordinary dynamic vision, as well as the physical strength and grip to handle the impact of the 50 caliber magnum bullets with one hand. Naturally, the strength of the unwilling wrists was far beyond the limits of human training. Kay stared right at him as she lifted her flame-wielded sword. It wouldn't have been unusual to despair at the glimpse of the strength she displayed in that one moment alone. However,
なるほどね。
Shiro sounded a laugh, not out of despair, not as a bluff.
100程度食らっても平気な奴らがわざわざ弾くか? どうやらドンピシャみたいだぜ。エリー。
Huh. So you mean the Lisa needing to concentrate? That's pretty much the case, right? Because as I said, like they are pretty much bulletproof. Lisa's controlling Giant Cane. That requires ungodly amount of concentration. Yep. In which case, something as light as getting hit by the pebble that a bullet had amounted to as far as these bastards were concerned might have been enough to make her drop the reins. Resigning himself to a support role wasn't exactly Shiro's ally, but...
そういうことだ。ほら大将、さっさと行ってあの化け物ぶちのめせよ。
Okay. That was vague. The sound of Shiro's constant gunfire was enough to make me understand what he was trying to do. He had no way of beating Kane, but he planned to hinder his movement to make up for it. It was the opposite idea of shooting the enemy commander. The horse was the real threat here, so the commander was using all her might to hold on to his reins. If she let go, the thing would turn into nothing more than a corpse, a puppet, or it will go into berserk mode if this is if this thing have like actual you know, self-consciousness. It's not indicated if this thing have the consciousness of its own, but I would assume it does because apparently there's 18 plus scene, right, in the original game. And why would Lisa use him as a puppet to do stuff with herself? I mean, why? So it must be like, he must have like his own consciousness.
それまで持たせないとな。
I'd wait for the opening for attack, and with all I had, Sister Lisa had to focus on my actions just as much as she had to focus on controlling that monster. And the more she did, the more the fruits of Shiro's plan would start to show. Tubal Cain looked at me from behind the soulless mask. I stared back at the giant and... I sprinted with enough force to kick off the floor and shot forwards like a cannonball. I could do this. I doubted I would lose to this giant in terms of speed. If I could cross the distance between us all at once, I might get lucky and decapitate him in one slash. I finished forming my weapon in a second and stuck my guillotine of the right arm down on the giant. A moment later, I felt the sensation of decapitation passing through my arm. I was partly sure I'd won, but... Lightning? I was once again blown away by the lightning generated around Kane. And that was not all. Kane dashed after me, practically at the speed of lightning. Well, shit. Tren, your confidence in your speed just got like demolished. Okay. To think he was faster than me, with that huge bulking body and the long weapon. Yeah, also... Yeah, you could predict that he can probably like use lightning as the shield to shield himself. I was shocked. Quite literally, haha. But it only lasted a moment. I resolved myself that I wouldn't retreat. If I took a step back, I would be a cut down. And if I dodged, Kane would blow away all those people standing behind me. My only choice was to meet him head on. Yo, okay, we have CGs. We have some new CG. Okay, let's go. Full CG. Okay, Kane swinging down with his sword. God damn it, like, oh my god. Like, all of these are like practically the materials for wallpapers. The more I play visual novels like this, like DS Irae and Muramasa, practically these two in specific, these two gives me vibes that I want to have the art book from the artists. I think these are the only two visual novels so far that I generally want to have the art book of. But these things are expensive as fuck. So probably won't happen anytime soon. I wonder if there's like actually art book for DS Irae. I know there's like art books for Muramasa, like bunch of them. Kane swung his giant lump of iron down, which I blocked with the guillotine in my right arm. I felt like I heard Mari scream at the same time. It was already a miracle that my weapon didn't crack against so much mass, speed and power. Though I avoided getting chopped in half, I felt the whole impact to the attack. The floor cracked around me, boring a crater into the ground. It felt intense enough to make me think that my spine had snapped and head right out of my body. And he's now lightning with... Oh my god, this guy is insane. Lisa, you are freaking insane. And the lightning the bastard's weapon gave off with each slash was powerful beyond belief. It was like a lot like that sort of fire sakurai wielded. Yeah, if you think about this, that's right. It's the same principle. So, wait, I thought like Kane is the fusion type because he fused with like previous generations. Oh yeah, he didn't materialize the sword, it's like just a weapon, and he can like channel lightning through it. Okay. It's not exactly like Kay, because Kay just materialized her weapon entirely, and making it like a flame sword. And he's here like lightning sword. My opponent's range of attack was not limited to the length of his greatsword. It was too dangerous to lock blades with this dead freak. At the very least, I didn't feel confident I could last on the defense. So I had to take the offensive. I just keep hacking away at him, not giving the freak a chance of swinging his sword. I avoided the monster's strength pushing against my blade and twisted myself to dodge. A roar loud enough to crack the very floor, open echoes across the hall. I used the lingering shockwaves to jump over Kane. I could do it. This time, I would take this monster's head. He couldn't see me. I was confident I could win, however. Why you're always aiming at head? You're predictive. Can't you just like cut off his legs first or something to make him off balance? I mean, I made a theory back in the day that maybe that's because of his weapon, like, because that's what Kasumi was doing when she wielded Mari, basically. Like, she was always aiming at his head. So I thought, like, maybe this is the... And because it's a guillotine, like, it's always aiming at head, at the neck, basically. And it's, like, very predictive. But we never had, like, this said, per se, in specific. So it's still a theory. But, yeah. That's predictive, like, line of attack. So even though, like, Ren can use his formation in, like, different ways, like, he can, like, shapeshift his weapon, then it's still going to aim for the head, so... Yeah, you still know what to expect. Unless I'm wrong and Ren is just being stupid. The next lightning strike, it managed to hit me in the middle. The high voltage caused my limbs to twitch, boiled my blood, and make me feel like my insides were being torn apart. I flew head over heels and crashed on the floor as blood literally gushed out of me. I couldn't breathe. Blood was pouring out of my eyes, and my clothes were torn off and charred. Had I been a normal human, I would have been cut to pieces without even a single bone left of me. But other than those wounds, I was more pissed off by my own stupidity. I thought I would know these freak traits. I'd stupidly forgotten all about them in the presence of the overwhelming pressure. Yeah, pretty much. Kane was a corpse. A feint meant nothing to a machine like him. Trying to get into his blind spot was pointless when the controller could see me. Yeah, that's right. She is the main focus here. Kane had 360-degree vision, as long as she could see me. And since the thing was a corpse, he could possibly perform feats impossible for the human body, super powered or not. Okay, I was stupid as well, because... Yeah, he's a corpse. If you like cut off his leg, he would not like care. Sure, he will be off balance. It will be harder for her to move him. But yeah, it's not like he will feel pain or anything, so yeah, okay. Kane then swung his weapon. And that alone, a full 180 degrees without turning around, as if to endorse that theory. I dodged on instinct, but it moved down in the area above my head, shutting the seats and people behind me into smithereens, blowing them away. Blood and chunks of meat scattered behind me. My vision was blurred, not by the intense pain racking my whole body, but fury. That thing had probably killed another 100 or so people with that attack. Well, if he killed 100, then we met the quota to open swastika, because it was 129 and you needed like 200 to 300, so we are done, probably. And how many would he kill before he was satisfied? I didn't care if it was a den of criminals. They most certainly didn't deserve to be massacred by the monster like Cain. Tubal Cain turned to face me, right as I grit my teeth and stood up. This dead freak didn't even need a fraction of his power to pull off something like turning his joints around and slash right before himself. But even so, I would be damned if I lost. At the very least, the freak had yet landed a single blow on me. I wouldn't be satisfied until I made sure that masked dead freak stayed dead for good. He was fast and powerful enough that not even Sister Lisa, the one controlling him, could predict his movements. The most efficient attack for me at that moment was what? Let's see. This is such a ridiculous shape. But yeah, you can do whatever you want with this blade. I took a deep breath and fell into a crouch, pulling back my right hand. I assumed the fighting sense. That idea came too easily to me, no doubt thanks to having a kendo maniac for a childhood friend. If I was going to the fastest slash possible, I had but one choice. EI? Wait, he's going to EI? Wait, what? Oh my, really? Really? You're really going for EI, what the fuck? An EI slash. That was the only way. I'd be trying to imitate something I'd merely seen on the spot. Not to mention the shape of my weapon was the irregular. Still, the basic principle must have remained the same. Oh my god, I just like literally finished like the main road of Hanachirasu recently, and like there's a lot of EI there. Wow. These novels these days on this channel, they like clicking one with each other pretty well, I would say. Good timing. There was little variety in the stances. When the idea was to turn your whole body into something akin to a cannon and launch your blade like a cannonball. A turnabout death blow, a double-edged sword that would end fatally for me if I missed. But it was the only way. Cain silently raised his lamp of iron. Perhaps Lisa had cut on my plan. It wouldn't be slash versus slash. No, he would probably try to zap me again. His lightning blade, far faster than a speeding bullet, was about to fall upon me. So I focused my mind, steeled my heart, and slowed down the seconds. A moment became a second became a minute. I should have been used to that. I should be used to that idea. God damn it, this is good. Having been thoughtfully forced into a corner, I would surpass the speed of lightning itself. A ridiculous feat when one thought about it. But unless I accomplished just that, I would be getting nowhere. Can it be faster than lightning though? The screams and gunfire around me completely vanished. Within that silence, Cain and I faced off against each other. Also, by the way, did you realize that Ren needs like a lot of new shirts? Look at that. He's like literally like destroying his shirt here. Each time he activates his Agner Beret, it's like getting to shreds. He needs a lot of like new stuff. That's inconvenient. Imagine the money that he needs to like burn to get like new shirt each time he fights. The screams and gunfire on me had completely vanished. With that silence, the Kane and I faced off against each other. As I held onto my desperate concentration, I waited for the next moment in that divided light and darkness. Faster, faster, faster! I had to soar faster than anyone in order to claim this freak's head. Kane's tremendous body tilted towards slightly. I drew my guillotine of the right arm at the same time. At that moment, a similarly unusual and unpredictable phenomenon occurred. Okay. What happened? A dark veil suddenly struck the floor. Okay. The lights went out all at once, shrouding the room in darkness. Oh, Shiro and Ellie just like covered the lights or something? Why?
なるほど。
Oh! Makes sense! Lisa is away. She have like less field of vision in darkness than Ren because Ren will be close. So he will see Kane more clearly than Lisa sees Ren. Wow, this is actually perfect. Holy shit. But we have Kay. She have flaming powers. She have fire power. She can make a light. That was definitely no accident. The enemy had a brain on them too. It was a two-stage tactic. They would use the resulting darkness not only to blind Lisa, Kane controller, but to launch their attack as well. Having figured out, Kate swung her sword in an arc right after the lights went on.
明かりが消えたのならつければいい。
Yeah, pretty much. And the fire. The air she cut through was dyed in the reddish gold, making the center of the floor erupt in the scarlet flames. With light having been returned, Kay scanned the floor and made sure to confirm that the battle had progressed. Perfect. Barely any time had passed. In fact, it was Ren, not Kane, whose movements had been thrown off the most by the sudden loss of light. He would soon perish. Though they hadn't got along, Kay still felt a slight tingle of pity for the end of the boy she would gotten to know a little. But her thoughts turned to what would come after his death. She would witness the opening of Swastika for the third time, and see the end of her rival. As such, they would have no choice but to enact a large-scale massacre in order to open the remaining 5. So, I still don't understand why they need Ren. It seems like because Ren is alive, they don't need the large-scale massacre, and they just need like these like 5 single points of like maximum 500 souls. They don't have to like massacre the whole city because Ren is here. So if Ren is dead, then they basically have no other choice but to like massacre the whole city. I don't know why. Ah. She felt annoyed by the unpleasant work that would mean for her in the future. But it was only logical to kill your enemies when you had the chance. Kay and Lisa were much more like of realists and the rationalists compared to the fun-loving Wilhelm and Rusałka. And so...
さようなら、藤井君。
Okay. Right as the two of them consciently uttered those parting words at the same time?
だからなめるなっつってんだろ。
Yep, you throw a balance, Lisa, huh? What are you going to do now? That sneer and voice brought Kay back to reality. She quickly looked back to where Shiro had been just a short while ago, but...
いない。
Okay, he moved. So he's going to shoot from other direction. She'd lost sight of Shiro Yusa. Did he flee? No, it wasn't it. That wasn't it. Yeah, like basically what I thought like when Ellie went, because I thought like Ellie will be the second shooter that will try to shoot Lisa from another direction, so Kay will have no time to react and to protect her. But apparently it will be Shiro. He just like moved to another spot when the blackouts happened. Okay, so it's still within my idea. Because if like it's like from another direction, then Sakurai, Kay cannot like move on time, probably to deflect the bullet. Perhaps she'd been wrong to dismiss it as the worthless, but the dropping of the light had just been a decoy, and their true goal was what came after.
ためのやつに言いたかねえけど、若いな、お前。
Okay, this is fucking badass. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ellie and Shiro together. Okay, I love Ellie. Holy crap. Like both of them. This is freaking amazing. I love it. I'm sorry, I'm just like staring at some CGs like that, but like these things are like on a whole another level. Wow. I'm glad this won the vote pool for like Muramasa replacement. Holy shit.
優等生は意外にちょっとつ盲信型なのよ。
She got sad to the two of them mocking her as they pressed their muzzles side by side in the direction. Kay couldn't understand what they were thinking. What good would shooting do? 2 bullets were no more effective against them than 1, and she could easily deflect them at the distance. Even if they happened to hit her, it wouldn't cause significant damage. Okay. So she's not worried about this. It was completely pointless, but then how would one explain those confident smirks? I have a feeling like I know what will happen. They will shoot in sync, right? They will be in perfect sync. If you think about this, if they shoot like at the same time 2 bullets, then it's not like you can like deflect 2 of them in the same time. I mean, kinda you can like just put a sword in like one. Maybe. Oh no, wait, one can shoot Lisa and one can shoot Kay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. They're just gonna shoot both of them at the same time. That's perfect sense. Okay, that's new. 2 bullets shots forward with the overlapping gunfire. Oh, so they're going in sync. Okay. But they're shooting probably both of them, right? Kay could see their trajectories perfectly, but they weren't aimed for either her or Lisa. Oh, wait, what? In that case, could I have been... By the time realization drone on Kay, it was already too late. The sound of the explosion, far more meager compared to the Kane attack, echoed across the hall. The bullets passed right by Kay, destroyed the fire extinguisher on the stage. Oh my god, these guys are freaking geniuses. They are freaking geniuses, I love them. Also... yeah, full stew of the gunfire shot. She used the blade of her sword to deflect the fire extinguisher, jumping about with the force of the barrel roll. However, her enemies were not after that, but rather the dispersion of the foam inside. In other words, yep, to make everything black again. Her line of sight became a milky white haze, or white, okay. She couldn't see it all, though it wasn't impossible for her to wipe out the smokescreen with the explosive fire. In the swing of her sword, it would have required concentration and time. Kay could tell Risa was growing impatient behind her. That was more than enough to tell Kay that Kane was now nothing more than a puppet the older woman had lost control of. Kay's whole body was stumbled with chills and shivers. He would die. He was going to die again. Wait, what? Who's going to die again? No, she couldn't bear losing him again. Again? Is that Kane some kind of like your like lost lover or something? What the fuck? Who the hell is Kane? That's getting more and more creepy. What the fuck? Her fear and impatience shot past their limits, making Kay lung forwards instantly. Kay turned into a raging hurricane as she made off towards the two, breaking through the smokescreen. She wouldn't let him die. She'd be damned if she did. She would never ever allow him to be broken ever further. So Kane is like her like lost love or something? What the fuck is happening? What? Is her like wish for like swastikas open, like the miracle is to like revival of Cain or something? What? Murderous intent in front of Lisa, as well as the obstruction of the comrade's hand through distraction. Kay didn't hesitate at all to take those actions that would break her oath. To be accurate, she'd completely forgotten about it. She simply dashed forward as fast as possibly could, in order to save him, to keep him from dying. After that brief moment, lasting not even a second, filled with thoughts and running, Kay beheld the worst possible outcome. Determination, pierced by the clash of blade and thunderbolt, made me stumble forward. Not only had I been so focused that I'd forgotten Shiro was planning something, I wasn't far-sighted enough to be able to adapt to suddenly losing my vision either. Achieving a composed and even serene mind was no easy feat. Until a short while ago, I'd been no more than an everyday student. There was no way I would have been able to keep my cool after being so abruptly robbed by my side. A series of floor-shaking tremors and the burst of the explosive fire put an end to my confusion. It was most likely Sakurai doing. Whatever she has done gave me a momentary flash of vision. I couldn't move an inch. That momentary hesitation brought a swift end to my perfectly timed plan. Well, irae fate. His lightning could fall upon me, pierce me through, just as I yelled to gain overwhelming pressure, envisioning that hopelessly inevitable outcome. Gunfire rang out again, soon followed by the sound of a small-scale explosion. For some reason, Kane's presence vanished as the result, or rather, it felt more like the giant being bewildered and impatient, as if he had lost sight of my position. Maybe Sister Lisa couldn't see me right now? Yeah? My suspicions turned out to conviction a moment later. The lightning strike that should have hit me, blown me away, ended up passing right by me. I had no idea what has happened. None of that mattered though. What did matter was that my opponent had just missed an attack that would have otherwise been fatal. Regardless of what brought it about, that was my chance. I would have been an idiot for not taking advantage of it. I sprung my arms forward and sped up my body muscles in sync. I raised my blade with all my might as fast as I could and moved it to slice the giant before me in two. My target was the head. That was the only way. I didn't know if you could kill a corpse twice, but I basically believed that in decapitating blade Mari dwelled in... Believe that this decapitating blade Mari dwelled in could kill any target regardless of what the rules of logic dictated. Okay. It was likely that belief that was acting as the driving force behind manifesting my underberry power to its peak. As long as I believed that, this guillotine could cut down whatever stood in its path, be it human or monster. Kane turned around. I couldn't tell if it was a random attack, or if it was... if this dead freak possessed a base ability to intercept by himself. But either way, I was faster. I jumped up as I landed up on the swinging lump of iron, then launched an attack on the giant, completely defenseless and exposed neck. Okay, what happened? But something completely unbelievable happened at the moment. Ken headbutted the blade. What the fuck? Really? Swinging down towards his neck. I don't know how strong the bastard's mask is. That is Sister Lisa Berry was, but my blade swing went just off mark from the superhuman counterattack. Holy shit, just the mask can deflect the like actual weapon? Wow. As a result, I missed and ended up cutting from the Kane left shoulder. Blade to his right lung. That would be fatal wound for sure to a normal opponent, but it didn't look like that much of an effect on the freak. In other words, it was a misfire. My all out of nothing. All or nothing attack had been completely wasted. Yet it wasn't bitterness of regret I felt, but something else entirely. Yeah, seems like it. That last counterattack was on a different level altogether. He deliberately attacked the offset, the slash heading right for him, and he actually used the mask to deflect it. Mere Puppet couldn't have him pull that off. Yeah, like I said, he had some kind of like self-consciousness. It's not like he's like dead corpse, like he's walking dead. He's like, he have like consciousness. It's like his like soul is in the dead body, something like that. What in the world is this thing? Tubal Cain casually turned around with no heed to the diagonal wound in this body. Not even a drop of blood poured from the wound, and he clearly didn't feel any pain. So he had the body of a corpse, no matter how he spun it. Despite that, he moved precisely, even when he was cut off from Sister Lisa's proper commands. He can even speak! This is freaking creepy. He's basically a slave for Lisa. She enslaved the corpse. This is fucked up. The corpse that remained silent up until they began to speak. It was dark, gear-like creaking that lacked any meaning, more reminiscent of the rumble of the motor than a genuinely human voice. However, that eerie enormous of sound, hardly even worthy to be called a voice, made my entire body freeze up. Also, I'm not sure if this is the one episode or not. I'm recording quite long now, so I don't know, because I had to cut in between. But it's kinda long. I don't know. Maybe it's like second episode already, or maybe it's the same, I will see. I wanted him to stop. I didn't want to hear another syllable uttered by that voice. The dead giant's voice alone was enough to instill a sort of madness in the living. As I said in the episode when we cut the 18+ scene, this is pretty much the sounds from Sayanota. The first thing you hear in the game. His howl, loud as roaring thunder, completely blew my fighting spirit into smithereens. Lisa quietly clicked her tongue when she heard Cain's war cry. It appeared that his true nature, the one she wanted to keep hidden, was coming dangerous close to be revealed. Okay. That was dangerous. And not just because it will make him harder to control. Lisa could not afford letting anyone learn that Cain possessed a side like that to him. What? Why not? What do you mean exactly? This is weird. And if worst came to worst, if the Divine Vessel or Samuel were found out, they would likely demolish everything. Same went for that girl, though in a different way. Okay. She mean Kay probably, because she went for the Cain right now, so they obviously connected somehow. Why Trifa and Samuel would hate to see Cain not being controlled? This is getting interesting. What's Cain's identity? Wow, that's a scream. She cut through the smoke screen of foam and chased after the girl in the second behind. She wouldn't have been allowed to see that. If she did, then she would surely... But it was too late, Kay already watching. She stood frozen and dumbfounded, muttering to herself like her mind was somewhere else. What's happening? What's happening? Anger welled up within Kay in a moment. It seems she was more fixated on Cain's wounds than the maddened roars. Though Lisa hesitated to call it a silver lining, she had nothing to worry about it. That was the thing that had Kay bothered. Cain wouldn't break that easily. She was about to say that, but for some reason she couldn't. He was a dead puppet. Even if his arms were chopped off, his legs vanished, or if his chest was filled with holes, that monster was a lump of flesh that could keep moving as long as she, the controller, remained in the good health. As such, there was nothing to worry about. That wound could barely even be called a cut. There's something to say that all of that. Even parted her lips for a few times, but ultimately she couldn't. Inevitably, she could do nothing to stop that impending instrument of destruction. Okay, I'm interested in like relationship or between like Sauriel, Trifa, Kay, Lisa, and Kane. Like these people are like tightly connected, it seems. Huh! I need backstory for Kane now. Kane swung down his lamp of iron with all his might, unleashing the burst of deadly lightning, rivaling that of the Indra himself. Is Indra some kind of like god of light or lightning or something? From like, I don't know, some of myth? I don't know. Eclipsing all of his prior attacks in terms of ferocity. His strike was powerful enough to blow away everyone still alive in this place. Not only Ren, Shiro and Ellie, but even Kay and Lisa as well. Well, he lost control. The flash of lightning burned into my eyes, blinding me. The flash of lightning burned my eyes, blinding me. The scope of Kane, raging lightning strike, dwarfed all others that came before. Even I would have been torn to shreds had I taken a direct hit from it. I knew that all too well, yet in spite of that I couldn't bring myself to move an inch. Rather than being frozen by the sheer magnitude of that unparalleled destructive power, it was more like I was cursed by this freak existence itself. I'd be seeing pearly gates in my near future if this kept up. Okay? For some reason Sakurai cut in between us. That was what saved me. What the... The floor shook with a tremendous sound, splitting apart, along with the walls where I found myself blown back a dozen or so meters. As the echoes of destruction continued to roar, I saw something fall to my feet. It was Sakurai. Needless to say, she was all battered and wounded from Kane's attack. Okay... So she wanted to protect Ren, not Kane? Apparently, so why you said lose him again? I remember from last recording. She said lose again. Okay, this is getting even weirder. Why? It sounds like you lost Ren before. Well, she cannot die. She's like pretty much main protagonist. Almost like one of the main characters, it seems. Like she's in the story all the time, so... Guess she's safe. Just like fatally wounded. I mean, maybe not fatally wounded, but... wounded in general. I mean, Kane is strong as hell. Even she would be blown to bits had she taken a direct hit. Nonetheless, she seems to have evaded that outcome by the hair brief, stopping the blow a split second before it could deal a fatal wound. She still suffered severe injuries, but her life was seemingly spared. Yep, okay. More importantly though, I highly doubt she was attempting to save me. In which case, could she be trying to reign in the Berserk Kane? The last attack unleashed all his power, from what I could tell. Raising that volume of destructive force must have taken quite a toll on him. There was also the wound I inflicted on him to consider. In that state, it would be hardly surprising to see his body crumble apart from the power of his own lightning. When I thought of it that way, Sakurai's actions became more comprehensible. But why would someone like her, who had always been so cool-headed when dealing with Wilhelm and Usauka, risk her life to that extent? Yeah, this is weird. I need now more backstory of Kay. And for that monster's sake, no less. Whoa, what the hell? What was that? Wait, what? Why it looked like a nuke? What the hell? That was weird. All those thoughts was abruptly drowned out by the intense pain flaring up my neck. The air grew heavy and stagnant as an indescribable kind of unease filled the room. What was that?
どうやら3つ目のスワスチカが開いたようね。
Oh, okay. So we have enough souls. I could vaguely make out Sister Lisa across the dust, shrouding the room. Right next to her stood Kane, having returned to being a speechless statue. The opening of swastika meant that many had died. The last attack, as well as the battle up to that point, must have passed the necessary death quota. Yeah, like you talked and like 100 died.
安心しなさい。今夜はもう帰るから。
Why Lisa looks so sad? She looks so sad to this whole sequence. She don't want to do that?
それで藤井君、こんなこと。
Though I was gritting my teeth in rage and bitterness, Sister Lisa ignored it all. There was a twinkle of pain in her voice. Perhaps she too had been wounded.
レオンをその子のことをよろしくお願い。難しい性格だけど根は悪い子でもないはずだから。
Lisa and Kay, are you like Spinne? Are you trying to betray Heildrich maybe? Well, Kay cannot betray him anymore because of what Rusalka did to her. But still, Lisa looks sad and stuff. And asking like basically enemy to take care of her? That's very weird.
待て。
じゃあさようなら。
Never see
心
me.
配しなくても私たちはもうあなたの前に現れないわ。
Never see me again.
これで仕事
Are you going to die or
終
what?
わったのよ。
What's happening?
シスター。
I screamed and stretched my hand out, but I couldn't reach. My legs and hips still suffered the after effects of the lightning. Wouldn't let stand. I wanted her to stay, to not leave. I was begging her. She and Himura
ご
were.
めんなさい。でも許してなんて言えないわね。願わくはあなたも生きて
Okay.
し
A jet black curtain blanked my vision at the moment. The black cove attached to cane masks spread out, covering the whole floor, drawing everything out.
Oh.
A moment later, my sight returned, revealing that Sister Lisa and Kane were nowhere to be found. In addition, all the splattered blood, chunks of the meat, and the mountains of corpses has vanished without trace. Okay, and I think now will be the end of the previous episode, so I will stitch this ending to this one, and we'll see what happens to Sakurai actually in the next episode. So I will just save it here, just in case. But yeah, that will be this for this episode. So I will probably right now put here the speech I had prepared for the previous episode ending, because I probably cut out that part and stitched this one out. So just treat that as like speech for this episode, okay? Because I'm just like stitching these 5 minutes of the episode into the previous one. I think like this is way better and like place to end the episode, because I'm kind of worried about Sakurai right now. So yeah, I wonder what happened to her and if she's in a good condition or not. Maybe we'll have some emotional story next time, and I think like we may have some like a lot of information in the next episode and talk with Ren and Sakurai. So I will leave that backstory for the next episode. So yeah, anyway, thank you for joining, and I will see you next one. So thanks once again, and for the Pocket Watch is going out. And I will leave the reveal for the next episode. It's going to be probably faster than usual, so it's probably going to be the extra episode for this week for DS Irae, because it's kind of long now, and I think it's good place to end just before we get like some kind of like weird reveal or something, I guess. Or maybe I will just fuse 2 episodes together. I will see what will happen. Anyway, that was like very interesting episode. Like, I want to know more about Kane right now and his relationship between like all of these people that I mentioned before. It seems to be important, and he's like related to Sakurai Wish as well, probably. So yeah, anyway, that will be it for this episode. So thank you everyone for joining for today's episode, and I will see you in the next one. So thank you everyone once again, and for the Pocket Watch, it's going out.